Take care of me, I take care of you.
That's what he told us. He said when the first time I saw Pac after he was released was Thanksgiving 1995. He came to Atlanta, and he came to Atlanta looking like a gangster.
Right.
He had on a bulletproof vest. He had on a derby. You know, he had bodyguards, and we were at our family's house, and you know, throughout the day it was kind of awkward because we never had that kind of presence around us. You know, bodyguards and stuff like that. You know,
guns in your own house.
Guns in, you know, people conceal. You know, people carrying open. You know, you can see the weapon. You understand? It's not concealed. You know, so. It was weird and it was awkward. And, you know, after a while, you know, when everyone got comfortable, I asked Pac, you know, why did you go to death row? You know, I know you was in jail and I know you didn't want to be there, but, you know, we didn't have that kind of relationship with death row before. So what suddenly changed your mind besides him bailing you out? Because you was going to eventually get out on bail. And he said that, you know, Suge bailed him out, Suge helped his mother, Suge did this, Suge did that, and as long as Suge keep it real with him, he was going to keep it real with Suge. To me, that meant like he was going to have undying loyalty to Death Row.
So in that year that he was with Death Row and recognizing the favor that Suge had done for him, getting him out, getting him signed and all that with the label, it would seem that their relationship was being more and more cemented together and that they were getting closer and closer, as opposed to a division happening where Tupac starts to resent the fact maybe he's not getting the money he believes, because this leads to that whole theory, did Suge have anything to do with Tupac's murder? And from what I've understood you to say is that those two guys were like brothers. There was nothing that was going to come between them.
Let me tell you, it was the funniest shit in the world to see, right? When Suge and Pac got together, there was like Law and Hardy. Pac is this little dude with heart, and Suge is the big dude with heart, right? And they love each other. You know, they do everything together. But what was funny is you had to see them argue. Because Pac was fearless, so he'd argue with Suge. Like, I seen Pac get on the phone with Suge and say, motherfucker, where's my check? If I don't have my money in 30 minutes, I'm coming to death row and I'm burning it down. Hang up, bam. And Suge would just be laughing. I mean, you know, Suge, the next time when you see them together, the next time they'll be laughing about the shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They'll be laughing. It was genuine. It wasn't, you know, I can tell. You know, it's genuine. You know, Suge never took that shit personally. He understood Pac's personality. Pac is a rider. He's fearless, and I know that about him. I'm fearless too. We have this we identify with each other. We have this relationship shit. You know, yeah, you curse me out, I curse you out, but we love each other the next minute.
Gotcha.
You know, and that's how that relationship was. They were very, very, very tight. And I respect, you know, personally, I know people make Suge to be the bad guy and the boogeyman and all that shit. Suge is a nice guy. Yeah. Lay off him. He's a nice guy. You know, he's done a lot for hip hop. You know, he's one of the first black entrepreneurs of hip hop. You got to respect that. It's hard out here. You know, it's hard to make a living. It's hard to take care of your family. And then it's even harder to take care of other families. Right. You know, so he's given a lot to hip hop. You know, and you know, although it was unfortunate that Pac was killed on his watch, he did a lot of good stuff, and I think he should be recognized for that. You know, that's just my personal opinion because I've been around Suge and he's done favors for me, and I know what kind of relationship he had with my cousin. Now with my aunt, it's different. It was business, and you know, they had to go through court and all that. But that's business. That's nothing personal. Right. My aunt never took it personal. She understands that. She looks at Suge as like a young son. You know, not her son, but like the son of another black woman. You know, it's not her son, but he's the son of another black woman, and that's what she respects. It's not personal. It's business.
So Afeni was never behind the kind of outlandish theory that Suge had anything to do with Pac's.
Suge never. Suge came to our house. Suge came to Afeni's house. Yeah. Spent a couple of hours with Afeni. After Pac's. Yeah, this is maybe 4 years after Pac's murder. Oh, okay. Because he came. It was 2000. Right. He came to Afeni's house and he sat there with her for a very long time, smoking a cigar. His head was all sweaty and shit. You know. And I sat there and watched them conversate. Fanny was just being very entertaining and hosting and just like really enjoying the moment.
And their differences were strictly about music.
It was about rights. It was all legality. It was all business. It was more so the attorneys and their wrangling of it, you know, wrestling of the music rights than Fanny and Suge.
Gotcha.
You know, so. And then, like, you know, I had a store there, and I had a record store at the time, and I knew Suge was coming to town, and I was selling a lot of music, and you know, the store was very important to the community that I was representing, and I wanted Suge to come to my store, and he came, and he was very gracious, signed autographs, and took pictures with you know, some of my customers, and like, you know, it's like, wow, you know, I like Suge, and he had a nice sense of humor too. He's a funny guy, you know, he's a funny guy. So I think, you know, he just shouldn't get all of the backlash. Right. He doesn't deserve it. Right.
Well, he handled his things the way that he knew how to handle them from a street perspective, because that's where he was from. So, you know, I completely recognize from his mentality, you know, that he was going to retaliate after Tupac, because even according to Suge's girlfriend that was involved in the conspiracy to kill Biggie, you know, she says that Suge was just out of his mind, enraged, like he'd lost a little brother. And there was going to be hell to pay.
Hell to pay. And that's another thing I like about Suge, because I couldn't do, like, my family, we weren't able to do anything about it on the street level. Right. We weren't prepared, we weren't able, our OGs, our loved ones was already locked up. Right. You know, they was limited, their power was limited. The powerful people in our family, their power was limited. They was locked up, and then when Pac was killed, they was isolated from population. Like when Pac was killed, certain members of my family that's in federal prison, so was isolated, so that they can have no contact with the outside world or with the population.
Cut off.
Cut off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when Suge, you know, when Suge took care of business, when he got serious about what happened to his partner and what happened to him, it made me feel so good that he represented. You know, I mean, I thought that was just awesome.
But you're saying that in the sense that he's handling his business like a family member would handle business. Exactly. But you're not saying that, of course, the result of that business is that Biggie Smalls is dead.
No, I'm not saying that at all.
Right.
I mean, I wasn't even talking about that part of it. I was talking about the immediate repercussion after Pac was murdered.
I see.
That happened in California. My family had to leave.
You're talking about stuff in Compton.
In Compton, yeah.
Okay.
We had to leave LA because there was immediate repercussion.
You had to leave LA?
Well, not me, because I wasn't there, but my family had to leave LA. My mother, my aunt, you know, my brothers and sisters, they were all in California when Pac was in the hospital.
Now, who was telling him to leave?
The security, death row security, Suge. Not telling my entire family, but basically pulling a Fanny to the side and telling a Fanny, look, Ma, you know, this is getting ready to get ugly, Ma. I don't want nothing to happen to anybody. Please take everybody and go back to Atlanta.
All right, get out of town.
Get out of town. You know, I got everything. You know, don't worry about nothing.
I hear you.
And my aunt didn't want to hear that. She just left. She didn't want to know what Suge was going to do.
So what they do? They put them all on planes and send them home, try to get them out of harm's way.
Exactly. Quickly.
Okay.
Quickly.
That's respectable.
Right.
They knew what was coming.
Yeah, you know, we're not dumb. We're not naive. A lot of us came from the streets, you know. So we know what time it is. You know?
Yeah. I'll be darned. You remember your last time seeing Pac?
Man, yeah.
Like, what's the last memory you have of being with him?
It's funny that you asked that question, because the answer that I'm going to give you segues and kind of clarifies another question that you asked me before, right? Well, last time I saw Pac was when I told you I saw him, you know, he was in Atlanta for Thanksgiving. That was 95. That was the last time I saw him. And you know, after everything had settled down with the bodyguards and we became comfortable as a family and we was enjoying our family space and everything, you know, Pac was playing music from his new CD, All Eyes on Me. It hadn't been released yet. So these was new songs that no one has ever heard, and he was very, very proud that, you know, he had this music. And he was playing the music for us. He made everyone pay attention. He didn't want no one looking this way, looking that way, going to the bathroom or nothing. Pay attention, listen to this, you know. And he'd groove to his music and be proud of himself for his accomplishment, and that's like, you know, really getting to his music. And after we shared that moment, you know, it was time for him to go. He was on his way back to LA to promote the album, start getting it mastered and everything. So it was time for him to go, and, you know, everyone had, you know, their moments with him, their goodbye moments. You know, everyone said goodbye. And my goodbye moment, I'll never forget, was I said to myself, you know, I said I couldn't go back with him because I was dealing with issues, my own personal issues. I normally would have went back with him, but I couldn't. I was dealing with personal issues, and I know that I hugged him and I gave him a strong hug because there was something in my mind and in my heart that said I was never going to see him again. Now, I didn't think that, I don't know where that came from, but I remember very clearly that it was a strong feeling. Like it was strong mentally and in my heart, physically, that I wasn't going to see him again. It wasn't a fleeting feeling, you know, a passing. It was strong and it overwhelmed me. That's why I hugged him, and I hugged him very, very powerfully, because I knew that that was going to be the last time I saw him, and sure enough it was. It wasn't the last time I talked to him, but it was the last time I saw him.
Somehow your heart was telling you.
I knew it, man. I knew I wasn't going to see him again, and you know, it was sad. It was very sad at the time, but I didn't want to really concentrate on it because I wanted to be positive about it.
Probably you didn't want to believe it to be
I didn't
true
want
anyways.
to believe it, yeah. But I tell you, Greg, it's weird. You can't psych yourself out. You know, like some things that you don't want to believe, there's something in you that knows that no matter how much you don't want to believe it or disbelieve it, it's true. Something that's inside us, that's innate inside us, that tells us that.
And he probably knew it himself. I mean, I guess that he's kind of
I wouldn't be surprised that he didn't, because when he got out of jail and after we last saw each other, it was 11 months later that he was murdered, or 10 months later. And in that 10-month span, this guy worked from sunup to sundown, and he was doing landmark music. He was doing movies, videos every day. He was working. He was writing songs, and you know. So, and my family was telling me, like family members that was around him at that time was telling me that he worked like he was going to die.
Wow.
Like he knew that his day was coming. He knew that he wasn't going to be here much longer. When you listen to Illuminati, the 7 Day Theory, the Illuminati album is an album that Pac did and completed lyrically in 3 days. It's called the 7 Day Theory because he wrote every song on that album. It took him 3 days to write every song on that album, and it took 4 days for the producers to mix the music into the lyrics. So it's the 7 Day Theory.
Because it took 7 days.
It took 7 days to complete that album.
Wow, okay.
And when Pac was doing that album, he worked on that album feverishly, obviously, because it took 7 days to do it.
Right.
But that was indicative of how he felt about his length of time on Earth.
And it's interesting because at that time in Thanksgiving of '95, when you see him last, and there's this kind of strange, uncomfortable environment in the house because he's wearing his vest. There's armed guards there. Of course, you're in Atlanta, which is just after Jake Robles from Death Row is killed. And so it is hostile territory out there for him. And understandably, Suge would have known that if you're in Atlanta, you better be careful. Sends people out there to protect him, advises him to wear his vest. Obviously, in Vegas, there's a different environment. Not so much. You're not in the backyard of where somebody's been murdered.
Right. But it's just a little bit about that, right? When we didn't have no idea why the bodyguards was in Atlanta. We didn't know why he came with bodyguards. It wasn't until you actually revealed to us that was the reason. That could have been the reason, right. That there was going to be some repercussions behind what happened to one of Suge's friends.
It's even more ironic that I guess you guys were going to go to the Platinum Club, or you're going to go back to that same club.
We didn't have no idea, but we went back to the same club where Suge's friend was murdered.